In this fascinating video, we will reveal a simple and powerful habit that you can incorporate into your morning routine to transform your energy and vitality from the moment you wake up. Based on ancient teachings of Kabbalah, you will learn how water can purify your spirit and prepare your mind and body for a day full of life and purpose. Don't miss this revelation that will change your perspective on mornings and help you live with more joy and energy. Discover the power of water in your daily life. If you get used to doing what I'm going to tell you in this video every morning, right when you wake up, I assure you that something will change and you'll feel a different energy throughout the day. But to understand what I'm going to tell you, I need to remind you of something we discussed in another video, a warning about what not to do in the morning, what we shouldn't do at the start of the day. We saw that, according to the Kabbalah tradition, sleep, although important and good, is an approach to a state we don't want to reach, which is the state of death. And in fact, we've already said that death itself isn't something negative, but since we want to live and we have our tikkun to fulfill in this world, for us, it has a negative aspect and connotation because we want to be attached to life, as the Torah says, cling to life. To briefly understand what death is and why it is so similar to sleep, the sages say that sleep is 1/60th of death. Actually, going to sleep is preparing for a new phase, a new level, a new day. I finished a stage called E-Day, and now I start to sleep so I can move on to another stage. So, I should see my sleep as an elevation. The same thing happens with death. I finished a stage, only a bit longer, called E-Life. There is an elevation, or there should be an elevation, to a new stage that I will live on another level of consciousness. Obviously, the leap from life to death is much greater than from sleep, so the sages said it's like 1/60th. This means that when I go to sleep, I elevate myself. And that's what the sages tell us, that parts of our spiritual essence elevate a bit and leave our body. Partly, this is why when I dream as if I'm seeing something from afar, like watching a movie, because my consciousness is not inside me. It surrounds me in higher places. This departure of my spiritual essence from the body creates a state similar to death. And when there is a void of my spirituality, my light, my essence, then there is space for forces that exist at night to cling to me. These forces will be there, just as the Torah explains to us that when there is death, there is impurity. There are negative forces, negative energies that cling to anything that is death. Similarly, when there is sleep, since sleep resembles death, there is a lesser impurity, similar to death, that clings to us during sleep. It's not necessarily something bad, but it's something we need to know. There are times to sleep and times to be awake and alive with vitality. I don't want to carry the energy of sleep into my life. When I want to live, I want to be vital, happy, joyful. I want to go beyond. Often, you wake up and haven't really awakened. You go to work, eat, drink coffee to stimulate yourself to work, but something in you is still asleep. You are in sleep mode, let's say, with sleep energy. It may be that there are people who live in that mode and don't know it. Today, I would like to give you a morning habit that is the first thing you do in the morning to disconnect from that sleep energy, which is energy similar, in a small part, to death energy, so you can truly live with great vitality. It's not something difficult, it's very simple. You don't need to buy anything. It's something very, very easy that's within your reach. You just need to listen to me until the end, remembering what we already said in the first video on this topic, that in the hands, there is a certain degree of this impurity, this negative energy. We shouldn't touch the eyes, mouth, ears, or nose. The orifices are the filters through which we see reality. I see reality, hear reality, speak reality, and also breathe it. This reality enters me, both in my mind and my biology, through these orifices, which are the doors of the soul. We don't want these doors to be dirty, for the doors to already affect everything we see. I see the negative, I see darkness because I'm in that state of darkness. And the sages tell us that in this separation at night, when the soul returns to my awakening, the evil goes away. The state of sleep goes away, but sometimes it remains in the hands. The hands are a symbol of action. For example, in the Torah, it's written the hand of God, meaning the actions of God. So when we say you put your hand, you were saying intervene. This intervention with the real world, represented by the hands, now has remnants of that sleep state, that negative energy that I don't want. This energy serves me to renew myself, to die and be reborn, sleep and wake up. Because death, again, is not something negative, it's only negative when I use it at an inopportune moment. If I die when I shouldn't, it's negative. If someone reaches 120 years and completes their ticket on this earth, it's something very, very positive, not something negative. And in this, we will agree. Remember a very important principle in Kabbalah. All symbolism, as we said, the hands are the actions. Sleep is something close to death for the Torah and Kabbalah. This is a spiritual reality. All death in the Bible is always accompanied by impurity, ritual impurity, meaning there is a symbolism that the Creator wanted to warn us about death. When something is dead, impurity. Why? So you become aware that this is what I shouldn't have. I need to purify myself from this consciousness of death to have a consciousness of life. The same happens with sleep. Now, I wake up. This symbolism that my world of action now has a certain degree of negative energy is a spiritual reality. There really is negative energy. Therefore, the sages said, don't touch the eyes, don't touch the ears, etc. And now comes the point of how to counterbalance death energy and darkness with light and vitality energy. If we look at our reality again, we will see that there is something that most gives life to our existence, that surrounds us. And what is it? Water. Water gives life. Water gives life to nature, gives life to the plant world, the animal world. Water is life for the world and is life for us. In fact, we who are alive are 75% water. Because dying is dehydrating, it's being without water. In life, there is something in water that has a very strong representation of life. Therefore, in the Torah, water has the power to purify death. It is written that he who purifies himself from death must then go through a ritual bath, which we call mikveh in Hebrew. The word mikveh, as we've said on this channel, has in some way the same root as the word hope, tikva. Because water is the hope of life. So dying is dehydrating, living is hydrating. Water is an energy of life. Water has a very powerful life energy, especially when it's living waters, spring waters, sea water, river water, rainwater. And also the household water, although it has been stagnant, treated, still, it doesn't have as much positive energy as the rest, but it still has positive energy to help purify us. The Jewish tradition has long taught something known as the purification of the hands. When we get up, we don't touch the eyes, we don't touch, the first thing we do is go and pour water over our hands. This channel is a channel of universal concepts and not only to teach laws or rituals of the Jewish tradition. Therefore, I want to stay with the concept and not just the practice. If someone wants to investigate more about the practice, they can read about Netilat Yadayim. But we will stay with the concept, which is, before your hands come into contact with anything, they come into contact with water. The first thing you will do in your day is to have life where we said there is a remnant of death energy. And then, what we will do is rub our eyes, which are the main filters through which we will see reality. We will rub our eyes well with this water, and in this way, we will be able to purify our hands and our perceptions. As we always say, all these practices are not something magical, but as we said, there are spiritual realities behind them. But above all, I believe it is a matter of awareness. If I do this with awareness, a good amount of water several times on my hands and then rub my eyes, something will change, something will be different. If I have the mentality, what we call kavana, meaning the intention of the heart, to say, okay, until now I slept and now there is a new life for me, I renewed myself, I was reborn, it's a new day, that's why I want this water in some way to cleanse my hands, my world of action, my world of perception, and go out into my day with something new. If you get used to doing this day after day, you will see that there is an incredible change in your life. It's not something you will be able to explain tomorrow. I watched the video, did it one day, and everything changed. It could be, but that's not what I'm saying. One day you will turn around and say, just since I've been doing this practice, something is different in my energy. And obviously, not everything depends on one practice, but this is one of the important ones. The Holy Zohar, the foundational and fundamental book of Kabbalah, speaks very strictly about this. The Zohar even says not to walk 2 meters without having purified your hands in the morning. Because our walking also, but we don't want to enter again into imposing practices that only relate to some people who are very involved in this, and that's why they put, and some still put, that water next to the bed. The important thing for us is to understand that there is a practice that can change the course of my day, and now it's within everyone's reach. So, I encourage you again, every morning, to come into contact with water on your hands. If you want to do it on another level, put it in a cup and pour several times. I can tell you on a personal level that my children laugh at me because when I give them a hand in the morning, I ask, did you do the Netalat Yadayim or not? Because I can feel it in their hands, after a long time and becoming aware of what is a purified hand and what is not. I can see it in people when I touch their hands, easily, whether they did it or not. It's not a higher level of spirituality because I'm very holy, very sacred. It has nothing to do with that. It's something that, when you get used to, you feel. And if you get used to it and do it, not as a meaningless religious act, but with awareness, you will feel the purity because water has a huge purifying energy. That's why, if the next level is to immerse yourself in water every morning, that's something some people do. And they are not just any waters. We can talk about this in another video. But yes, the fact of this morning bath has so many benefits on a physical level, on all levels, mental, but above all also on a spiritual level, many advantages. Because cleanliness is important and it has effects on our mind, on our way of doing, it has great influences. And if it has great influences on a mental level and also on my life, on my day-to-day life, it should have the same or parallel influences also on a spiritual level. Because in Kabbalah, we say that everything is parallel, the physical and the spiritual. So if you see advantages on a physical level, expect to understand that there are also spiritual advantages. I hope you liked this video. If you are going to adopt this habit, say I will adopt it. Write water G in the comments, and I hope it is very beneficial for you. If you like videos of this style, say so in the comments so I can make more. A hug to everyone. Thank you for joining us on this spiritual journey. We hope this video has given you a blessing and a new perspective to start your days with energy and purpose. May the wisdom shared here guide you and fill your life with light and joy. Remember, every morning is a new opportunity to renew your spirit and live with vitality. If you enjoyed this content and want to continue receiving more spiritual advice and practices, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Join our community and continue growing on your spiritual path. Until next time, and have a blessed day.